This neighborhood was very nice, very pleasant live here. We got beautiful yard. Now is the disaster area. We can not go outside. We can enjoy at our house. We can do anything.
This has just been a total nightmare for life in itself. I haven't slept in about 2 years.
I could hear it in the wires over my house. It was like a real high-pitched singing noise.
But I almost dropped it from my bed because, I heard everything was vibrating and shaking.
You can be laying in bed and you can hear stuff vibrating on your countertop.
Like you see yourself and you can feel you're on the edge. Yeah, I can feel I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge of breaking because it's so bad.
That's when I first realized that things were really different.
The O'Hare International Airport runway reconfiguration was approved by the FAA in 2005. Runway 10 Center, 28 Center at O'Hare was commissioned on October 17, 2013. Hillside Drive in Bensenville, Illinois, now resides directly under the flight path for Runway 10 Center, 28 Center. Homes are just 3,500 feet away from the end of this runway.
In 1978, and we had 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and just a young baby. And the house was just perfect for us. It had a large enough size for us, and a 3-car garage for me. I messed around in that a lot. I liked it. We had a big yard. We bought in the winter time, so we really didn't know and understand what we were getting into, but the airplanes were here. We knew that. Over the years, we felt this was acceptable, and we just felt like letting the family grow. This was a big lot. I was able to keep, like my RV here. I've got an RV for a while. It's centrally located. It's a great place to live if you want to get around Chicagoland. I worked close by. I worked over at Keebler Company. And I worked there for about 33 years and decided to stay. And then I retired in 2005.
Okay, my name is Jolanta Gorniak. I live right now in Bensenville. And we moved over here with my husband and with my family, with my daughter and with our dogs. We moved over here 26 years ago. And we got a pretty good life over here. We was working in Franklin Park. We got very close to work. We was happy family over here until now.
What we moved over here, this house was, like, I have to put a lot of work around, this house, inside and outside. But before we bought this property, we checking, the noise, airplane, how is the fly. We talked with some people, and it was 1,000% different than today,
My name is Anne Franz. We moved here like 50 years ago, and the size of O'Hare Airport was about the size of Midway.
Kinga Burnett. We moved here 10 years ago. We used to live in Chicago, near a very busy intersection. So when we came here, we checked out the neighborhood, and when we came in, it was like a sign. It's our house. We put a bet, gave a big down payment, and we got the house.
So my name is Darren Thomas. I created ChicagoNoiseComplaint.com. I live in Chicago, Illinois. So I moved to Lincoln Square because it's a quiet neighborhood. It's mostly families. They're all one-way streets. You know, you don't really have to worry about a lot of noise. It's all tree-lined brick. And what I noticed about a year and a half ago, shortly after the October 2013 runway change, was that there was a lot more jet noise. And I live 11 miles away from O'Hare, so you know, I didn't move next to an airport. The airport moved in over me in terms of, you know, building this highway in the sky. I have it comparatively pretty well. 11 miles out, you know, I have 3 runways between or next to my house, which can make it loud at times, but it's nowhere near some of the folks that I've met in Bensenville, especially, that are just right at the end of the runway and just being slammed by noise. It's really nothing short of offensive that, you know, this is allowed to happen.
Just the atmosphere that it was here, it was very quiet. People were very friendly. I mean, you could go outside and do things where now you can't do that. I can't open my windows.
The plane noise in the house as it is right now, closed up, with planes landing and taking off. Some of the takeoffs are loud because they come over us, and that's one of the things that we've grown to accept over the years. But the landings are constant. Every couple of minutes we get another landing when the winds are coming out of the east or northeast or southeast. And you can't get a clear conversation going.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to stay here. We wanted to grow our family. We wanted for our kids to be with us as long as they want. And afterwards, we just wanted to grow old over here because when we saw this house, it was like a sign, it's gonna be ours forever. So we wanted to build it up and we wanted to stay here and just have a very, very normal life. Nothing special, just normal life. First, we heard the news that the new runway gonna open. But after the ribbon cutting, we didn't hear anything. And then one day, everything started. They started to land. The airplane started to land. And it was something that I never heard before, that loudness, that noise. And it was terrible because they were landing every 30, 45 seconds. I was shocked. I came from work, my husband was home. He called me and he's like, it's unbelievable. You're not gonna even think it's real what's going on over here. It's like a war over here. I couldn't imagine that, so I came home and I was shocked. It was pure shock because it's so loud and it's so often.
Well, I didn't know they were opening this runway as soon as that they were. I thought I had 6 months to spare. But when they first opened the runway, they ran the planes every 2 minutes, and everybody on Hillside was out on Hillside just stunned that the planes were so low.
This is incredible. Even today, morning was 4:30 in the morning. I don't know, they make it by purpose, or I got no idea. But I almost dropped it from my bed because, I heard everything was vibrating and shaking. The airplane was flying. The parts were very, very low, almost on my roof.
This is the airplane noise, what we got it, airplane's vibration, what we got in here. And especially during the night, we can sleep because the airplane flying right over our roof. And it's the very noise. We wake up. If we wake up, we can fall asleep. We are older people. We are over 60 years old. We are on retire. And we think that's going to be beautiful retirement time. but now we can enjoy it.
As for my daughter, she is lacking sleep too. A lot of times she's saying, "Mom, I'm so exhausted. I don't know how we can handle this. I'm trying so hard to keep up my grades. It's so hard for me to focus on my studies. It's hard for me to read, to do homework."
Well, the noise has affected me more than anything else. Not that that's the only thing that could, but so far that's been the biggest effect. When the planes are landing, our house is situated next to this big apartment building, and it acts as a soundboard. So the noise from those airplanes bounces right off that house, that apartment, 3-story, and it smack dab right into our bedroom window. So I think the sound is actually amplified by that, and it wakes me up quite often.
Well, when they land, it's a really neat experience. You get the sound when they go over your house, then you get these real strong wind gusts from the engines. It's like a swirling sound. And then once they touch ground, you get the back thrust of the engines. So this is like a 4 or 5 minute process for one plane.
I looked up after I heard a noise. The noise was like a singing noise. It kind of traveled through the air. One of the planes went by. And it seemed like it was following the airplane, and then it was moving southerly. I could hear it in the wires over my house. It was like you take a string and just woo, 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 make that kind of noise with it, a real high-pitched singing noise. Well, that noise went away and it passed a little bit farther south, and then I saw the tree covered with snow start shaking. The tree had all the snow shaken out of it by whatever that was. Now, I later learned that that was a vortex from one of the jets that was landing. And that's when I first realized that things were really different.
We were told that there was going to be a quiet zone where they would use other runways at night, and that's not the case. Last Monday, they flew all night long except for 47 minutes. And I was on the phone, I was sending messages, I was texting complaints with FAIR.
You know, I went to the website, the City of Chicago's website, to complain about it and found that it was pretty cumbersome. So I have a background in technology, figured I could probably automate this a little bit, or make it easier rather. So I created a form that pre-filled all the common values that they ask. So the current time, the current date, and put those values into the form and made it so I could just click a button and submit it. And so there was definitely a cathartic, element there. Whether or not the city has done much with it, I haven't ever seen them do anything with it. But the fact that now there's that we've shared it with others, there's over 1.2 million complaints to date. I think is very satisfying, just because it's getting attention to this issue.
I just wish people would say, "What are you complaining for?" Well, what are you complaining for? You need to come walk in my shoes and live in my house. You need to hear what I hear. I can tell you what I hear, but it doesn't matter until you actually sit in a chair and hear it for over 10 hours. Then you take on a different opinion, that there is a problem and they need to do something. And it seems like everyone is dragging their feet.
Complaints have absolutely skyrocketed, and you can see that disproportionately people immediately to the right and left of the airport are impacted. If you compare the data from 2013 or earlier, it was a few thousand complaints, if that, in a typical month. Now, I think last month it was about 400,000 complaints. It tells me that if they went back to shifting the traffic, how it comes in using a distributed manner, you could greatly reduce the traffic. It's evidenced by the 50 years that O'Hare was open before the changes were made with minimal complaints.
How can I be sane? 40 hours of work, sometimes 50 hours of work every week. I come here and while driving home, I'm praying to God, are they landing? Are they taking off? How bad it is? And you know how you see yourself and you can feel you're on the edge? Yeah, I can feel I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge of breaking because it's so bad. It's exhausting. If you would know me a year ago, I was working 2 jobs, doing school, doing sports. We would go outside, working outside, planting flowers, vegetables, everything. Now it's gone. Nobody understands. So many years of hard work. So many years of hard work.
Ultimately, the city of Chicago owns the airport. It all rolls up to the mayor. You would think that the federal government could be persuaded a little bit more easily.
The Village of Bensenville purchased sound monitoring equipment to record conditions at Hillside. 50 decibels is the average sound level in a normal residential neighborhood. 70 decibels can be considered loud or annoying. Readings from Hillside showed 470 events per day over 70 decibels. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, sounds over 105 decibels are considered hazardous. Readings on Hillside showed some events at or above 105 decibels. The Village of Bensenville is working toward the following solutions. Evaluate whether neighborhoods impacted are incompatible for residential use. Choose to fly over compatible land uses during nighttime hours. Cycle older jet engines out of fleet. Expand sound insulation programs for homes near the airport. Review and change noise abatement procedures to reflect the reconfigured airfield. Construct the northern runways as promised in the O'Hare Modernization Program. Please visit the Village of Bensenville's website at www.bensenville.il.us.